Good afternoon and welcome to my hobby bench once again. So a couple of days ago, that wonderful man and machinist Bill had sent me an email saying to expect another box from him, and it was such a busy last few days I didn't get a chance to respond to him until this morning saying thank you, I can't wait to see what you've sent. And a couple hours after that, the box arrived today. So instead of doing a mystery box and opening and all that good stuff, I've just got everything, most everything that he provided in this latest box laid out for me. And I'm really struggling with trying to find ways to say thank you or express my gratitude to Bill and his generosity and kindness to me and assisting me in working on engines and improving my ability to work on engines via tools. So with all that said, Bill, thank you very much for everything you've done and everything you've provided to me. It's just incredible. So let me go through these things. As I was pulling these things out, my jaw just was dropping. So I'm going to start here. And I think many of you that have seen the last few videos I've made from Bill's tools that he's made, you'll know that this is a valve removal tool. This one is designed deep enough to be used on Sato engines. Now, I've just recently done a video where I was showing dropping the valves, installing the valves on a Sato engine, and they're pretty simple. I mean, that's one of the easiest engines there is. This tool is only going to make it even more easy because I won't be having to stuff a piece of clean paper towel up the cylinder to do it. And I'm not sure if I've got an engine that a Sato engine that I'm going to be disassembling to that level yet or anytime soon, but I might be. So this is an interesting one to use and test out because obviously it's designed for Sato engines. So I will have a tool, a valve removal tool like this that I can use for every brand of manufacturer head style that there is as far as I know. So this is incredible. So I mean the mind and genius of Bill just continues. Now the next thing here is he sent me this incredibly beautiful reamer. This is just unbelievable. I can only imagine the things that I'm going to be able to ream with this. Probably mainly props. But so this is just beautiful. I don't know if you made this, Bill, or if you bought it, but it's beautiful nonetheless. He gave me, and he also sent me a punch, a better punch. Better than these Harbor Freight ones that I've been using that are woefully short and have knurling on the edges. Perfectly smooth punch, one side flat, one side tapered, so that I can get in there and more cleanly remove bearings from engines. So this is, I mean, talk about things that I will use all the time. I mean, so many times you may go out and see a tool at the store and you're like, oh man, that's beautiful, I want to go buy that tool, and you go buy that tool, it's like a one job thing, or you do that thing so infrequently. But the tools that Bill is providing are ones that I will be using all the time. Now this is just a handle, four-jaw gripper handle that I can use to grip the file that Bill provided to me for extracting piston pins. So this is really nice. Let's see what's next. Let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about this incredible thing. Now I know exactly where this comes from, and it comes from one of my last videos where I was, lamenting the fact that some tools, some of my ignition wrench sets that I bought recently were just complete garbage. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way here so we got a little bit more room. So I can show you what this is. This is incredible. This is almost like the Craftsman ignition wrench set in that they look like Craftsman ignition wrenches. These are all metric, but they've got the really small box end. It's not that super thick box end stuff, so these will actually get into places a lot better. And then this was in there. I don't think in my life I've ever seen a smaller adjustable jaw wrench at all. But talk about something that's incredibly useful. Boy, I could have used this on that OSFT 240 trying to hold that one nut on there instead of fumbling around with one of those things. One of mine that didn't fit. So the first thing that came into my mind when I saw this little wrench was like a Barbie doll or a G.I. Joe. I was like, I've never seen anything this small before. I didn't even have a clue that they ever made adjustable jaw wrenches this small and precise, but this is really neat. So this is gonna go, it's earned its spot right in my little drawer here where I put my wrenches that I use all the time. Unfortunately, that's a thin drawer, so it can't fit all of these. So these are gonna go in my drawer behind me that's a little bit deeper, but holy crap, these things are incredible. So the other metric wrenches that I got are probably the ones that I bought from Amazon or wherever that are thick and gross and stuff. They're probably going to find their way either to the bottom of a toolbox or into a garbage can, because these are superior for sure. So this last tool is an interesting design because it may look kind of strange at first, but it's actually a cam bearing removal tool. So here is the standard part where you remove cam bearings from your cover, as I've used many times before. Standard thing there. So that's another cam bearing removal tool, but the rest of this is somewhat new, and I'm going to demonstrate this on this engine because I believe Bill is the one that actually sent me these crankcases too, and this is a Magnum FS120 crankcase, and it's the biggest one I've got, so I thought I'd give it a try on that. So it didn't have a bearing in it, but I did put a bearing in it and tested it out. So this is a different design in that I don't think that I really need this nut on here. Bill wanted me to make it so I didn't have to use a wrench to turn this. So he made it so that there's just this big knob that I can rotate and extract the bearing. So with that said, it took me a while to kind of it took me, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes to try to figure out how to use this thing. So we're gonna put this vise here. And Bill says this is made for me to use in conjunction with my vise. So the first thing I did was I put this thing all the way down, and I was like, oh, it's contacting my bottom of my vise. So what did I do? Well, we'll pull this sucker up a little bit so that I can rotate it and do that freely. So we just do that. Now I can spin that thing. So the next thing I did was, it's got this washer on here to act as a bearing surface. You put this on here. There's your extraction or your expanding rod. So I put it on here, and I was like, okay, let's tighten this thing up. Let's put our rod in, tighten this thing up. And then I'm like, uh-oh. This wrench is contacting the lug. So I was like, okay, well, we got to find a quick workaround for that. And the quick workaround was very simple. I've got a ton of bearings on hand. A ton. This one just so happens to have come out of a Sato engine, I believe, and it happens to be a really perfect size. And it provides a spacer, and it's a bearing to actually increase the spacing here such that now this knob will spin freely. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and extract this bearing. I'm going to put this in all the way and push our expansion rod in. And now we should be ready to go. So now I don't need a tool. I don't need a wrench to extract this bearing. Now I've got this nice big knurled handle to extract the bearing with, and voila, there's our bearing. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So the beautiful mind of Bill has invented yet another iteration of this cam removal tool that works specifically for the way I'm doing it, which is using it in a vise, because that's just so much easier if you don't have to hold things. Because the original design, I had to hold the crankcase and 2 wrenches and all that kind of stuff, and now I have this thing where I just do this, and you can hold this, you can support it on this if you want, you can put your hand there, but you can see that it's really not necessary, and you just sit here and do this. Woo, boy, how tough is that? that just makes life so much easier. So, I mean, it's like, Bill, thank you. I don't even, like I said earlier, I don't know how many more ways I can express gratitude and say thank you to you. But we'll try and find a way. And there was one other item that Bill included in that box, and it still resides in this box. And that is going to be a separate video for a separate day, because that's a very, very special thing, and I think it deserves a video all on its own. So again, thank you very much, Bill, for your kindness, generosity, innovation, and just being who you are. Thank you.